Extra, extra. Doctor says positive thing about Attaway General. Scheduled to be thrown off the edge of the earth on Sunday. Read all about it. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to the gracious Camille, the director of one of the most notorious YouTube shows ever, Attaway General, also known as TikTok Hospital.
Let's see if you change your mind on anything.
Enjoy. Hi, everybody. This is Camille. Camille? I feel weird saying Camille. Can I just say Camille? Is that what you usually?
Yeah, if you Camille, yeah, if you say it with the right
Camille?
way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
yes, that's good.
I mean, French is the second language of Canada too. So I mean, I don't know
you
French.
speak French?
No.
Okay.
But I mean, I can pronounce things reasonably well. I think I studied like 1 year of French and then I moved back to Turkey. So this is Camille, the director of Attaway General. You wanna? That's kind of insane. That's really cool of you to do, by the way. I've said this before, but I mean, I want you to know this is like to come on to my show after like the videos I made. All I did was critique you. Boring. So that's pretty awesome. Do you wanna
Yeah.
like introduce yourself a bit?
Yeah, I'm a writer and director. I did not write Attaway General. I just directed season 1 and 2. You know, it's my job, and I'm French, but I live in Los Angeles now, and I work here. I came here for school, and then I stayed and started working here. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just it's a cool job, and like the people there are very nice, and that's why I came back for season 2, despite all the mean videos on YouTube.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that later on, but what's like the overall vibe like? So it is fun, like being there.
Yeah, it's fun. It's also really stressful. I'm not gonna lie, because like the time frame is so short. Like we have very little time to shoot a whole season, and especially with COVID, this one was even more difficult because we had less people on set. Like the crew was smaller. Plus you have all the rules for like COVID, like always wearing the mask, and like you can't eat or drink on set, and you can't have visitors. Like everything is super restricted. Everyone has their own rooms, but as the director, you have to be like talking to everyone, so you're sort of taking more risks. So that's challenging, like that's stressful, but it's still fun. I mean, it's still a fun sort of silly show, so you're still gonna have fun, and it's fun to do your job. Like directing stuff, I feel like there's not a lot of people who get to do that for money, like as their job. So I'm always really happy to do that. I sound like so American and horrible right now. I'm so grateful, but I am grateful.
I mean, I'd say the same things. Yeah. So how much creative liberty do you actually have with all the time constraints and stuff? Like how many of the things that you're like, that's not really great, but I guess I have to leave it be because there are more important things right now? Like how much does that happen a lot?
Yes. I mean, your question is how much creative power do I have, basically?
Yeah.
Or
yeah, like
well, the scripts are.
Can you like make everything you envision into reality? How much of what I see is like
yes and no
glossed over? And yeah.
Well, your job, like working for BratTV, it's like working for a little studio. So it's like they create the show and they have writers who write it, and then they cast people, they cast the actors. Like you don't really have a say in it. Maybe for like some smaller parts I could like say, okay, I like this one better than this one, but like it's very limited. So basically you come in and what you do is really just like sort of visually create the story and like work with the actors, and like obviously I get to look at the script a little bit and like tweak it a little bit, but very little. But once I'm on set, I have like a lot of creative power in the sense that if we're getting really late or something, or I can always try and move things around, focus more on one scene versus the other, maybe cut something, or like combine stuff. But I always have to ask for the producer's approval, because ultimately it's their show. And and then I also edit with editors, but like I do take a look at the editing. So I get like a director's cut, but the producers have the final cut. So once I give them my cut, I deliver my cut, and then they're like, sometimes they change stuff. But overall, they haven't been changing too much stuff from what I get them. And it comes a lot because like on set we have so little time that the way I shoot stuff, that's sort of the way it's gonna be edited, and you don't have a lot of options. So that makes me pretty safe that like they're gonna do my vision, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So how much time do you like have for like each episode on average?
Well, we don't shoot, we shoot them all out of order.
Oh.
So yes, which is but that's normal. It's just challenging. But so basically by location, basically. So we're gonna do like all the hospital rooms first, or like over 3 days, and then you're gonna do all the hallway stuff. So it makes like for some really boring days, because sometimes you're in the hallway all day, and like that little hallway that you see is just one very small hallway that we cheat to make it look bigger or different hallways, but it's just one extremely small hallway. So sometimes we're just in that hallway for like 2 days in a row, just going back, forth, and like I have to try and like think of like creative ways to shoot it, but it's very limited. So that's interesting. But yeah, basically for that season, we did 11 episodes, so a little more than season 1. Season 1 was 8, and then we shot for 15 days.
Oh.
1-5. So that's very, very fast. Because like basically it's like,
seems like
the episodes are like 10 pages or something, 10 to 12 pages. So that means you shoot like almost 8 to 10 pages a day, which is crazy. So yeah, no time for like too much thinking.
Yeah.
You just have to come prepared and just like shoot it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
What I will say is like the one thing that I think, in my opinion, is like perfect about the show is the set, like the ER, the hallways, the rooms, everything just seems like that's it. That's like a hospital.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that looks like, I mean, that's that. I mean, what
No,
else
that's
does the hospital
super
look
nice.
like, you know? Yeah.
I'm sure the production designer Ryan would be extremely happy to hear that.
All right.
But to be honest, like for the first season, like it was a bit of a process to get it to look like that. Like it took a lot of push back, like work and push back, and
Like
sort
before
of
filming?
Yeah. Like to try and get it to that place where it looked decent. And then for season 2, it was a lot easier because it was already established. So we could even just make it even better. Like stuff that we missed the first season or that we needed and we could get it on season 2. So that was like so much easier. But yeah, just we shoot a lot on the stage, and like it's very small, like very small. That's super challenging. That's so good to hear, honestly. That means that I'm doing my job right.
I mean, yeah,
At least
the work was worth it, that's for sure. All the work you put in. I was gonna say at the beginning, before, like I kind of wrote like a script, I was gonna say I'm actually pretty nervous right now because I've never ever done an interview before, but I'm not really nervous anymore. I was gonna say if I suck, you get to make a YouTube video bashing me, but I don't know.
With like my
I guess you still
subscriber.
I mean, so I just want to say, people, me included, I'm kind of reading here because I don't, but I hope that's okay. Can be more harsh when they feel like they're, punching up. Like to give a sports analogy, and I mean, by the way, if you guys can see the Clippers logo on her. I don't know how to feel about that, but I mean, she's an NBA fan, so I wore that on purpose, by the way. I like never wear this because it's so big, but like, I was like, I'm just gonna do it. But yeah, to give a sports analogy, I'm cool with calling an NBA star absolute trash. The thing I was thinking of was, I was gonna say, Paul George, I can call him absolute trash while I'm watching him. Because, but I would probably never say that watching a high school player. So that's kind of where I'm at with Attaway General. I mean, it's like I'm watching like a highly corporate produced show, and I'm like I could say whatever I want.
That's how you feel?
Yeah, no one's gonna see what I said from the show. I feel like just because it looks like people will be in like their ivory towers sipping tea. No one will even know what I'm saying. It doesn't feel like I was definitely harsher than I would be to like a random YouTuber's video. Than I would be. Yeah, you get it, right?
Make it believable. Don't go to, like, you're a multi-million-dollar budget bullshit BratTV YouTube show with these popular TikTokers. God bless them. Love them to death. You can afford more than a fucking a royalty-free video game laser sound effect. Okay, just the audacity, the audacity. I just can't with this show, bro.
I get it. No, I get it, and I actually think that's a little bit of a compliment, like, because I don't consider it like this high end. I have to be careful what I say because I do like
it looks different behind the scenes, right?
But yeah, like
that's camera magic. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, exactly. But so if we achieve that people think like they can compare it to Grey's Anatomy and be just as harsh, that's positive, I guess.
Yeah.
Because especially we do not have the means of Grey's Anatomy, like, at all. Just to be clear. I love Grey's Anatomy, by the way. So. I also love Dr. House. Or here they call it House MD.
Yeah, it is House MD. I just
but like in French we call it Dr. House. So I always call it Dr. House. Yeah, because I started watching it in France. But yeah, these are Dr. House. I think that would be my favorite medical show. But then Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, I have Scrubs before that. I didn't really watch Grey's Anatomy that much, but yeah.
I mean, it's more like, I think it's more geared towards women, honestly, Grey's Anatomy. You know, it's like sort of silly, like romance, drama. But I mean, I like it.
Did you hear people call your show a Kids Bop version of Grey's Anatomy? I saw that in the comments.
I feel like that's pretty sort of accurate. You know, like I'm not gonna. I mean, it is like sort of that.
Also, the star-studded cast with like. Of season 1 from like TikTok, that also like part of the illusion, you know. I was like, oh, I mean, if they have all those followers, so it must be like a huge production, you know, because I don't know. Yeah. So also my videos were like none of them were like you know, like sat down and edited and planned. They were all like live streamed blind reactions that I just like put together. So they were never meant to be a well-structured critique of a show. But what I noticed while doing them is like there's a fine line between laughing at the show and with the show. Like whatever I see, I'm going to criticize. But sometimes it's like the actual character. Like there are a lot of cringy lines and dialogues by design. Like the smoke detectors line in season 2.
Nice ceilings.
What?
Nothing. I was just noticing the smoke detectors. Looks like there's plenty.
Never noticed.
Of course there's plenty of smoke detectors, Sasha. This building has to be up to code with the fire marshal. Clearly there's going to be an adequate amount of smoke detectors at a hospital. Alright? I don't know what's going on here. Somehow the writing has gotten even worse in Season 2 so far. It's like the terrible writers of Season 1, they just said, hey look, this is too good. Get the fuck out of here. We're gonna go to the local elementary school and recruit them to write Season 2. And they did.
If you're making fun of that, then aren't you kind of enjoying the show the way it was meant to? Like that weirdo character is gonna say a weird thing. That just makes sense to me.
This internship is not for the faint of heart.
If I'm praising an actor that makes me hate the villain they're portraying, then I can't like in the same breath also like criticize a show for having an awkward teen being cringy. I mean, yeah, sometimes it's unintentional because of the acting.
I think I see what you're saying.
Once people make up their mind, it's like they lump everything together as the flaws of the show. But yeah.
I have to say that like for me, like and you'll see as the episodes come out. I mean, I think it really picks up for me around episode 4 of season 2. Like that's my favorite episode.
Really?
But
that's like my least favorite.
No, season 2.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm not talking. Episode 4 of season 1 is the Jack and Rosie, like, they're like sorting through files.
Yeah, just a bunch of, yeah.
No, that's like the.
All right, okay, cool.
Oh my god, episode 4, like I'm gonna have like PTSD, but
Whatever.
But yeah, like no, episode 4 of the new season is my favorite, and I mean, I think season 2 is way better than season 1 in general because, you know, you learn a lot from your mistakes in season 1. And then there's also like, I think better cast, like in terms of acting, like, you know, they're all very nice people and very nice to work with. But I think some are naturally better actors. And I think we got better actors for season 2. And we kept the ones also that were, I think, good actors already, like Nina and I'm gonna call them by their character name, but like Nina and
that would help
Holden.
me.
Yeah. And I was really glad they came back, but also like the new people they got, I think were pretty good. So that was episode 1. It's always a little tricky because it's mainly exposition, because they have to like set up everything, like the new guy and the new girl, and like this is what happened last season, and this is what this season is going to be about. So it's sort of like meh, but I think it gets better. I already like episode 2 a lot better than episode 1, but I think it only gets better with, I feel like I'm promoting the show so hard. But I do believe it, that it does get better, especially from episode 4 on, because it's all about Nina and Jamie's relationship in the past. So like it's flashbacks. So it was fun, but I don't even know what we were talking about, but
yeah, I mean, I don't have a hard time believing you, because that's exactly what happened with last season.
Yeah, I mean,
it was like, okay, yeah, this is actually
always gets better. Yeah, and like last season, you know, the prom episode was my favorite, at least to shoot, because it was like, because it's the most fun, and like it was the one where you had the most creative freedom too. Like it was like, oh great, it's prom, like we can do something that looks a little cooler and play with lights and play with camera movement and stuff.
Actually change the
and
setting
like,
for once.
Yeah, and we're outdoors. It's like woo, and like the actors, they had more fun too, because they're like at a party and they can be a little bit more like themselves. And now they know each other. Like we shot this like later on during the shoot, so they were more friends. You know, there's a lot of stuff that come into play. But yeah, this season I really like it more than the previous one. I think it's just better. So we'll see what people think. I think because Dixie's not in it, it's hard. You know, Dixie D'Amelio, I mean, the Georgia. You know, it's like you don't have this like fan base that's just gonna watch anything she does. And I think it's a shame, because I think this season is way better, but yeah, we'll see.
I had a couple questions about episode 7 specifically. Should I ask them now?
Yeah, I'll try and answer if I remember.
Yeah, for me that was the absolute best episode. Seriously, but yeah, we'll see.
It's my favorite, so that's great.
Yeah. So first, I'll start with the bad. But it's far from perfect. Why was Mr. DuPont talking like a, you know, dubbed kung fu movie sometimes? Like his mouth was moving differently than he was. Watch this.
Who knows? I might be able to put in a good.
Who knows? I might be able to.
The old dude?
Did you notice that? Yeah. Did you notice that?
That might have been a sync issue, because I don't remember that.
Like not when he was talking, but when like Dixie was talking and he was on the side of the frame, and he was when he was talking, it was like it didn't have anything to do with this. So I guess it was just an oversight.
Maybe it's because they used the audio of a different take on the
same audio without editing it. Oh.
Well, you know what you do often is like, if a take is better, like visually, for instance, like the take looks perfect, but like the audio is better, dialogue isn't as great. Yeah, like then you just take the audio from a different take, like literally put it in the mouth of the actor. I don't know if that's what happened, because I don't remember that. But it's possible it was like either that, and then we didn't notice what Dupont was saying in the background, and then so that was an oversight. Like I can't. Yeah, the editing is also very fast. We have very little time to turn it around, so like the editor sends you a cut, and then you just watch it, give notes, and then that's sort of
there's no way you're watching a blurry Mr. DuPont while Dixie D'Amelio is on the screen if you're in a time crunch. That does make sense. Yeah.
See, so it's probably something like that that happened. Yeah.
All right, but the thing I really liked, I don't even know, like I want to give credit to whoever's responsible for this, but I hope it's me. I hope so too. It's Dr. Henry comes in like hot. He's like really angry.
Yeah.
Like, this is highly inappropriate.
Yeah.
And in the background, there's this guy. I think he's a team volunteer. He's like dancing, and then as soon as Dr. Henry comes in, he's like, "Yeah, what are you guys doing?" He instantly turns.
How could you let this happen?
Did you see the guy in the background? Wait. He's dancing.
Cut the music now. Nina.
And then he's like on his side instantly.
How could you let this happen?
What you guys doing, huh? You idiots.
What's wrong with you people, huh? This is a hospital. Some professionalism.
It's in the background. It's not like focused on at all. I really love that detail. Was that
I
like,
think
that had to be planned, but like
I think that background that you're talking about, it's a guy, right?
yeah. He's a big
I
guy.
think what we told to the extra was like, to the background was like, hey, so whenever he enters, like react and like don't just ignore. So I mean, because some background, they're very sort of newbies and stuff, like they don't really know. So like it's like someone's dying and like they're just like and I'm like, hey, someone's dying, like just react, like just be a normal person. But I think maybe the guy you're talking about was our on-set medic, Will,
really?
who was really cool, and he was a really nice guy, and he was really, because he's been on Brat shows before, so he was more like used to like the acting and stuff, and I think that's him, because I remember he was giving more like bigger reactions and stuff.
That was really
but
funny.
Technically as a director, you're not supposed to direct the background. Like the first AD, like the assistant director, who's the one sort of making sure we go fast enough and we're on time and stuff and moving on. He or she is the one who tells the background what to do. It's just like a rule, but usually I tell them and then they repeat it. We just like figure it out. Anyway,
that's interesting. All right, so we know you watched a bunch of commentary videos about the show, if you've seen one of mine, and criticals. So how much of the criticisms would you say were actually valid? Like, do you have a percentage, like related to the point I said?
That's a really tough question, because I don't know how to say it. So basically, I don't want to criticize my own show because I want to keep working with these people. And, I did 2 seasons because I was happy to do it and stuff. Like, so I can't be like completely honest here, like 100, I can't just completely speak my mind, because it's still my job and there might be a season 3 or other shows that I can work on. So, but I do think there's a lot of valid criticism for sure, but I can't tell you exactly which one. I think like which stuff is more valid, or I just don't want to like say stuff that I'll.
Yeah, like a percentage of like.
Percentage
people said.
I don't know.
Like, okay, that's fair, but that much is like, oh come on, you're gonna say that about that? It's not really that important.
I think honestly, maybe 50-50. Honestly, I think like
higher than
there's
I thought.
A lot of there's a lot of valid stuff about.
Yeah, we can move on if you want.
I feel like anything I'll say will be taken really badly, so like I shouldn't say anything. But there are a lot of valid stuff. I told you, I think before we were recording, like the stuff I really think is not fair is when someone says like, I'd rather be tortured by Nazis than like watch this crap. Like I'm like, okay, dude, like that's crazy, and like shut up. It's just but otherwise I'm, there's a lot of valid stuff. So yeah.
But that wasn't like a YouTube video, right? Those were just like comments. I hope.
That was comment. Yeah, honestly, what bothers me the most are the comments on the YouTube videos more than the YouTube videos themselves.
I never even looked at them actually.
Really? Oh my god, it's a dark hole like that you can get lost into. But one thing that's not cool, I'm gonna say it here, and like maybe people will be like, whatever, you suck. But so this website IMDb. It's the Internet Movie Database, and so that's where you get all the shows ratings and stuff. And so there's a lot of trolls going on IMDb and rating the show really badly and like changing the profile pictures, like they put like SpongeBob stuff instead. That's like, well, because it's like Wikipedia. It's like
I didn't know that.
User-based. Well, they do check, but so there's stuff they won't change, but usually it gets flagged and then eventually it gets removed, but it's just like Wikipedia basically. And so one thing that's not great for me is that a lot of people who would hire me or stuff, because that's what Hollywood people use also to get their info, like they'll go on there and they'll see like a 1 out of 10 rating and like the Nazi kind of comments. And that makes me look so bad. And that's the stuff that hurts me the most, because like honestly it could cost me a job, and like I could totally see someone be like, well, maybe do a better job, like, and maybe you'll get it, but it's a little more complicated than that, because first of all I do a really good job, but you know, it's just, if people just don't do a lot of research and they just like check it out because it's the last thing I did, and they're like, oh wait, this looks terrible, everyone's criticizing it very harshly, that sucks for me. So that, and for the crew and everyone who like worked hard to make it. But so that's not YouTube, that's IMDb. And I don't know why trolls do that. Like, honestly, I don't really get it. Like, it's like, what are you doing? Like, we're not like, I get if we were horrible people, you know, you do that when you want to with someone, but like, it's a kid's show for 10-year-old girls, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Why
not to like make the mood really dark and stuff.
I mean,
really
yeah.
depressed, but yeah, that sucks.
I'm actually surprised to learn that people actually look at IMDb for insight. Like, why don't they just look at the show and judge for themselves if they're
Because, you
hiring
know,
someone?
People are lazy and
Really?
they don't do their job.
Wow.
No, I mean, they'll of course they'll look at more stuff, but you know, it's just a first impression.
Yeah, yeah.
Is an
Right,
impression,
right.
that sort of sucks. I think the YouTube videos, they're fine. The comments are tough.
YouTube comments are always kind of like a cesspool. It's like, what? I don't
It's just
know
weird to me
what
because I
comes over
never
people.
do that.
Yeah,
So, like, do you
exactly.
comment on YouTube
No,
stuff? Like,
I don't
comment
think I've
on
ever
stuff.
insulted anyone on a YouTube comment.
Why would you do that?
If you don't like
Sometimes
it, I just
like
leave.
something. Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't like it, you don't watch it. You know what I mean? No one's forcing you.
Or I make a YouTube video about it. That's I don't know. That's
Yeah, or do something creative about it.
yeah.
Maybe.
Not gonna ask you what the best and worst criticisms you've heard then. And you said this before the interview, but I was gonna ask you, how annoying is it for you to hear someone sitting at home reacting to your show for content call you lazy?
Well, I mean, it's just what I think what's frustrating is just thinking how hard it is to make this show. Like, you know, you work like 14-hour days, like during a pandemic, and like your crew is like killing themselves to like try and make a show for kids who will watch it during the pandemic because they're so bored and there's nothing else to do. And then there's like some person behind their keyboard who's just like, blah, blah, like, whatever, you suck. You know, I don't like that. But I also think that sometimes it's funny and it's fine. I don't know. I'm not the best person to answer that question.
That's all right.
I'm like pretty like sensitive and I take things so personally in my life in general. So like, this is just the worst. But I still do it, you know, it's fine.
I mean, your show is objectively like massively successful. It has tens of millions of views. It's just the target demographic isn't the vocal people on the internet, because you're not going to say, yeah, you're not going to make a video saying, yeah, I love Attaway General. You're only going to say,
plus it's like 10-year-old girls. Are they going to just even
seriously.
be on YouTube, period?
Yeah.
You know, or like they're probably watching on their parents' phone or something. Like, but yeah, like I just, I don't know. I just don't get it. Like, honestly, I would like to know who really writes the super mean stuff. I just want to see their face and just be like,
me too.
Why? Like, tell me what's wrong with you. Like, let's talk, you know? Like, just, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just have horrible lives. Like, I don't know.
I mean, if your sense of humor is, I'd rather have my family killed by Nazis, there's something there. I mean,
I don't think that was the exact quote, by the way. Like, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but there were some crazy ones that involved Nazis. I have to say, there's like one comment on like that guy Critical or whatever, his video for season 2 that made me laugh for real.
really?
Like, some guy had a whole theory that Dr. Henry was actually a Nazi who flew to like Argentina. You know, like a lot of Nazis went to like South America and like created a hospital there, and that like the volunteers were like the dead souls, the souls of the dead children or something. I don't know. It was sort of funny, I have to say. But because like also something that people don't know is like, you know, when we're on set, we also have fun with like the storylines, and sometimes we also think that maybe Attaway General is like purgatory or something, or, you know, or maybe like there was a nuclear war and like that's the only thing that's left, or you know, you do joke about stupid stuff, but it's just, you know, it stays between us, and like, and then we still go back to the normal story and we like it and everything's fine, you know. But we came up with a lot of stories about where the characters who left went, but I won't say more.
I
In
was,
my head, you know.
yeah. Do you write those down? I feel like those should come out like in a couple of years after the show is done.
Yeah, I just can't say it now, but eventually.
I was actually gonna make up theories here for myself. Can I do that?
Sure.
First of all, did Nurse Sandy Mr. DuPont murder Mr. DuPont in his sleep? So she got convicted, and that's why she's gone.
He passed in his sleep a little while ago. Sorry.
that was a weird way of saying sorry. Sorry. Nah, she murdered her mother. That explains it. That's number one.
No. So Nurse Sandy, it's because she was not available. I mean, a lot of that stuff is just
that's boring.
Basic. It's really boring. It's like, and also like, you know, it was COVID. So like some people, they just didn't want to be on set and like they just weren't comfortable. And so we had to like recast and all. So it's like, it's really boring stuff. Like it's, you know, it's just a life basically. But that's a good theory. Could have been that.
I have a couple more. So Will got thrown out of the program because he kept making everyone uncomfortable by getting into their personal spaces and kept stealing $50 orchids from patients.
Am I supposed to congratulate you?
If you want to.
And Jack got arrested again, but he's never supposed to say his crime, so...
What did you do to get arrested?
In prison, you're never supposed to ask about the crime.
That line is a...
What is that? What is that line?
I don't know. I don't know what that line is.
I mean, it gets the job done without, you know, like, it gets it moving, you know, it finishes, like, it addresses that there's going to be a question, but it doesn't.
I don't know. This was not my my favorite episode or line.
And Georgia didn't actually leave. There's just no one left to discover her sleeping in the shed when Will left. How about that?
What are you doing?
Okay, Georgia, I can tell you what happened to her. So she moved, you know how like in season 1 there were like problems between Dr. Henry and his wife, sort of like they have one conversation about it in some episode. So basically they divorced, and that's why now Dr. Henry is single and he's like gonna start dating in this season. Spoiler.
He's on Tinder all the time.
He's on Tinder all the time, you know, so that storyline already sort of started, but you'll see where it goes. So now he's single. So Georgia moved out of state with her mom. That was what happened. And so there was a line in episode 1 that said that.
Oh, really?
We cut it, but like basically we shot it, and like it was what's her face, Rosie and Holden. Like when they're walking in and they're like, so what happened to Kit and what happened to whatever, like, and how was your surgery? And there was a line about Georgia there, but then I can't remember exactly why I cut it, but I think the scene just was too long and it just felt like too much exposition, and it started being like, oh my God, okay. But we have an explanation for Georgia, because I know a lot of people were commenting about it. And I was like, oh, should I have kept that line in? But I don't know.
I heard Dixie talked on a live stream saying she didn't like stuff about the show, like complaining about stuff. But that's all I heard. Do you know anything about that, or it might just be
complaining about what?
I don't know. I didn't listen to the live stream. I just heard that she talked about something on the live stream. That's all I heard.
What's the live stream on what? Like what?
In like Instagram, I think. Just
like an Instagram video or something.
I think she was just like doing a stream, and then someone probably asked her a question, and then she started ranting about something. I don't know. I just wanted to ask if you had any idea what that was, because I don't, and I was curious.
No, I mean, it was very nice on set with her, and
I didn't really get that from like a source or anything. It's just I just heard that anyway.
I mean, maybe she was thinking of maybe some episodes she didn't like how it turned out. Like I don't know. I mean, you know, if you've never acted before and then you're like on screen and maybe you won't like it. I don't know, but I haven't heard anything. I mean, I don't know.
That's actually probably it, honestly. She's never acted before, right?
No, it was her first time, and I think that she sort of decided that it wasn't for her, honestly. Like she wants to be a singer, you know. She has all these singles out or whatever, so good for her.
Speaking of Georgia, I just wanted to say that the decision to make her not know the rules of chess was nice.
No, a pawn can only move diagonally when it takes a piece.
My hospital, my rules.
That was pretty funny. I like that.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like, are you gonna just pretend and then it's gonna look so bad, or are you just gonna...
That happened with Connect 4 though. How did that happen? Connect 4 was like the only thing on screen, and it was like...
Well, I know, but like, okay, well, that I have an explanation. Okay, so...
Wow.
Wait, did you guys see that? She went twice in a row. They have set themselves up for a continuity nightmare here. Because the board is visible in every shot, and they're just throwing all these takes together, and none of them line up at all. It's literally a different array of pieces every time they cut. At one point, you can see that the older girl already won the game. Maybe they're playing like Connect 7, I don't know.
So obviously, you know, the actors were told, play it for real. You know what I mean? Like, don't just put stuff, like actually play it.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is we did so many takes, you know, that like eventually you lost track of where you were at, and so they kept putting stuff instead of, we weren't gonna like empty it, restart it. So it just got all mixed up, and then I was like, okay, well, that makes no sense. But I was hoping people wouldn't notice, but
commentary YouTubers are looking for stuff to notice, so they're
I know, but that was, it's like the editing, and you know, when you do so many takes and you have zero time to like reset every time, it was just like, okay, whatever, it will make no sense, but who cares, you know.
But also at the beginning, like that was like in the background, it like constantly changing. But in the beginning of that scene, it was like only the Connect 4 on the screen, and then they put like the blue put, I think Rosie, I don't know, put it like twice in a row, and then red put it. That was awesome.
That's like just, I think, what they did. But like, what are you?
That's how they play it for real. Too bad.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's like, am I gonna tell them 10 times like, hey, redo it? Because no, I was like, okay, moving on, great. You know, it's just time.
Yeah, it's only like a 1 second scene, so
it's hard for someone who's never acted before to do, like, think of their lines and do something, and like, you know, it's not that simple, and I think they were just sort of sometimes a little like it was too much to handle or something.
I mean, I struggle to focus on playing a game while there's like 2 people talking in my live stream chat, so that, I mean, that just makes a lot of sense to me.
So you see, yeah. Connect 4, that one was is something that, you know, we all noticed that
really
it wasn't like we all knew, and we decided that, you know, it's
not worth the time, right?
Yeah.
All right, so this next segment is going to be dedicated to the man, the myth, the legend, the jack of all trades, and also master of all, Dr. Henry. So Dr. Henry is supposedly this amazingly amazing world-class doctor. Is that why he's too cool for gloves?
Now don't worry about hurting her. Good, minute longer. And we're in.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So first of all, I want to say that the glove thing was pointed out to me by a lot of doctors who watched season 1 with me. And it was a huge oversight. But, you know, you're thinking about and juggling so many things that, like, no one thought of the gloves, and I have like zero excuse. Basically, like, someone should have thought about it, like either me or like the script supervisor or like the prop person or the costume person, but like we just forgot. Like, we had a ton of gloves, you know, it's not like we didn't have gloves, but we put them on certain people and then others we just completely blanked out. And so when I showed the episode, I think it's episode 1 where like the little girl comes, like it's like the crash, the bus crash, and like the girls comes and he's like blah blah blah, like IV, like he just pushes some medicine in the IV or something, or like in her and like I showed this to my doctor, and she's like, she just screamed. She was like, oh, but like HIV and everything. I was like, you could never do this. Like, what? Like, why doesn't she have question? I'm like, I don't know. Like, we just forgot. Oh my God. So anyway, so in season 2, like the first thing I told everyone, like every person, I was like, everyone wears gloves. Like, anytime they have to do something medical, gloves. I don't care, like, if it makes us lose a lot of time. And I showed them all a YouTube video made by like doctors on like how to put them on in like a real way, you know, like not like like how you put them on when you're in a hospital, because I don't know what's the best way.
Is there like a best way? Because I mean, there's like a proper way for sterile gloves, but you don't really need to wear sterile gloves if you're doing like random procedures.
Well, see, I don't
just slap
know
them
that.
on.
So
yeah, there's sterile and there's
yeah,
non-sterile.
but you know how like a lot of them, what they would do is they would blow in it
Oh yes.
and then put it on. Right? And I was like, don't do that. So I knew that that was like the least medical thing to do. So, you know, I just showed them all the YouTube video. I was like, this is how you're supposed to do it. Just try. And yeah, it's just like that, you know, but I just wanted to make sure. I was so like stressed out about the gloves. So season 2, there should not be a glove problem.
Okay, good.
Because I made sure of that. I also double checked every medical thing with 2 doctors, and you know, they're not specialists, so obviously it's not necessarily like their specialty, like whatever Dr. Henry's doing that day, like brain surgery or whatever. So obviously they wouldn't know specifically, but like they checked with other people, like they sent me articles, then I like send it to the writers so they could change some lines. Like I could show you my notes. Like I have an Attaway General medical pass, like pages of notes that I was like, this is what you're gonna do, like that's it. Because I was so bummed about season 1, like the stuff that was inaccurate. Like I felt so bad that yeah, like normally everything should be accurate. Obviously there might be some stuff that slipped through, but shouldn't be.
You're really like walking on eggshells right now doing the writing.
Yes.
Okay.
But honestly, also we still don't have consultants or anyone on set to help. So like, even if it's written, the scripts are right this time, and like I'm prepared, like I read some stuff, or like I looked at how to do stuff. I'm still not a doctor, and the actors are not doctors, so they might still do it in a way that looks inaccurate to you. But there's not much we can do about it. We have a set medic who like worked as an EMT too and stuff, so that was very helpful. Like she could show us stuff sometimes, like basic stuff like pumping oxygen or pushing a gurney, you know, and hooking someone up or stuff like that. Yeah.
In that scene with Dr. Henry, like I honestly don't even know if I'm right about this, but Kit squeezed over here on the forearm. That's wrong, right? I mean, it's like so outlandish to me that
squeeze here.
Yeah, you should. So
I know.
Yeah, what you could do is just take like a rubber glove and like tie it over here so it's a tourniquet, and then so the blood can't return and it pools up here and it makes the vein bigger and easier to find.
You know what's crazy is that, you know, when you say that to me and when I think about it, I think that's obvious, right? Because like I've just watched stuff and I feel like
like drug addicts just do this, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like you've seen that scene in movies sometimes, right? But the thing is, like when you're on set, there's so many things that go wrong, and you have so little time, and so sometimes you miss something that seems as big as this. You know what I mean? I'm like, why would you? So season 2, this is definitely something that I was like, that's not gonna happen again. So I was prepared. Like I know what they were supposed to do. So at least once we were doing that scene that had some medical procedure, like I would know what to tell them. But also the writers put a lot less stuff like that in there. And that helped a lot too. So it was sort of like a common effort to like, all right, let's maybe not do like, a brain surgery or something that none of us know anything about and that is going to look so wrong and so cheap. And, you know, so it was like, I think it made the show better because like everyone was sort of more on top of it. I mean, you know, it was very like ambitious of Brat to do a show about volunteers at a hospital. I mean, it was like their most ambitious show. So obviously season 1 was tough, and then season 2 got easier because you learn from all your mistakes.
So the cast could have all been like residents and like interns and stuff, but you made them volunteers. I thought that was kind of like a conscious decision to like remove them from the medicine of it. Wasn't that the case?
It was, but somehow in season 1 they still did a lot of stuff that was, you know, that they were not supposed to do. And I think that was Kit's character was a lot of that. Like she really wants to like go to pre-med and do everything. And so I think that worked for her character, but obviously as a volunteer, you would never be able to do any of that. Like I was at a hospital once, like a few years ago in LA, and there were teen volunteers. And the only thing they would do is they would bring me tea and cookies. So like the whole like bringing juice thing, that's accurate. They really do that. But honestly, besides that, maybe they could bring you a blanket. Maybe even that, honestly, the nurse would do it, you know. But I know they would bring food and drinks. So I thought, okay, that's good. I think in Attaway General, we're taking a few more liberties. Like they're also like help the nurses a little more, like, but it's more like admin stuff, you know, like we really, at least in season 2, they really stay away from the medical stuff. It's just patient care. Like, yeah, bringing stuff, playing a game with them, and that's it, you know.
Kit's character, by the way, I hate it, but that just means kind of I love the way
on purpose.
But
Yeah.
It was so jarring to watch it. Oh, the surgeon. Oh, that's a pretty good job by the surgeon. Good job. Okay, I would have done it like that, but I mean that's just, you know, it's very annoying.
I'm really bummed that she wasn't in season 2. I mean, she was supposed to be, and Gabby, the actress, she's super nice. I really like her, and I think she's great. But she had another commitment on another project, so she couldn't do it. But I'm hoping maybe she'll be back for season 3. If there's a season 3, you never know, because she really wanted to do it too. Like it was such a bummer for everyone when she couldn't do it.
All right, so you already alluded to this, but I was going to ask. So the first episode we meet Dr. Henry, and he's doing like his famous gloveless invasive procedures on a patient with 3rd-degree burns, a child, and then we later learn that he treated Molly and he treats Molly, and he used to treat Rosie. So I think
for
okay,
the same
cool.
type of cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, okay, he's probably not like a neurosurgeon or anything. So he's probably like a pediatrician or maybe a family medicine doctor, something like that. Maybe a general practitioner.
He's everything.
Yeah, but then he leaves the OR after Holden's heart surgery saying he's going to be fine. So I think, okay, maybe he's an anesthesiologist because that's why they needed him to find a vein because that, you know. Yeah. But then now he's sort of managing a ruptured Achilles. So I'm lost now.
And he's gonna do way more stuff in season 2. You'll see episode 4 and 5, it gets pretty intense. But you know, we had a joke with Dean, he's the actor who plays Dr. Henry, where, you know, like, cause he had like on his lab coat, it says, I don't remember what his first name is, John Henry or something. I don't remember, but like, he's like, whatever, Henry MD. And like, we all had a joke that it should say like, you know, MD, like DDS, like whatever, and like just have like rows and rows of like
a military guy with all the badges.
Yeah, exactly. Like he basically is every doctor that ever existed in the hospital. There's also just one nurse. I don't know if you know. I mean, there's more background nurses, but really there's one nurse who talks and there's one doctor who talks. So yeah, but you know, it's, you know, the reason they did that is that it's a kids show and they don't care about the adults really. So like, you sort of need a doctor, but honestly, Dr. Henry this season, they gave him a real storyline, and I like it. You'll see, like it gets way better for him.
He seems like he's really changing. He used to be like this cool, like guy that's like doesn't care about his daughter that much, but then he kind of does. But then he's like the expert at everything. Now he's like an awkward teen on Tinder. Oh, whoopsie.
But he's gonna get he's I don't know, his arc this season is good. I like it. His story is really good.
And also, what is Dr. Henry's amazing book about? We never got a follow-up on that.
You're amazing. I read your book. It was amazing, and that was
amazing.
Oh yeah, because Keith says I read your book.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, whatever. I forgot about this. I know. Sometimes they write stuff you're like, why? But yeah.
Who cares? I mean, honestly.
I guess he's also a writer. Probably.
Yeah. I mean, I would write a book too if I knew everything in the universe. That just makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, I have to say, here are the comments I like the most are the ones about Dr. Henry being like a superhuman and stuff. That I think is very funny. Because I do think, like, you know, it is really funny. Like, I like those comments. Those are sort of the only ones I like.
It could have also been like, Dr. Henry could have made like a lot of sense if it was like in the medieval times and like, you know, medicine wasn't like, we didn't know all this stuff and we didn't have to branch out. Yeah, it's fair. But also like, if you're a doctor, you know everything there is to know about the human body because there's not that much to know. But I don't know. Now it's not possible, really.
He's everything. But that's the one thing that like we all know and we make fun of and like we just roll with it. And it's yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask, like, what's the tone of the show supposed to be? Like, if it like let's say like the evil twin explanation, that's actually like really funny, and the little DuPont, him being like having like delusions of grandeur or something, that's also
That
pretty
was like
funny.
comedy. Like,
Yeah, but it's like if
yeah.
you're trying to take it seriously, it's like not really. It's like
Yeah.
what's it supposed to be?
I think the way to describe it the best is to say it's a soap. To me, that's what it is. It's a soap. So it's like, it's a lot of drama, but that's like over the top romance, romance, drama, and like a little bit of silly comedy too. But this season, they toned down the silliness a little bit to really be more soapy, like teen drama versus, because I do think that in season 1, it was a bit of an issue that the tone was a little bit more all over the place. Like, like they were, but it's also because of the different writers. I think like some writers had episodes where they were more like into comedy, so it was like super silly, like like the DuPont episode, and then or the bully episode or whatever. But then some were more into romance, so it was like all the shed stuff and the kissing and whatever. So this season it's definitely more drama, romance, like soap. That's the comedy, the silliness sort of got away a little bit.
I wish you would have leaned into.
There's crazy stuff that's gonna happen. Like, there's crazy stuff that's gonna happen though. Okay. Like especially, I just cut episode 10 yesterday, and that's my. I think that's no, it's not my favorite. Is 4, but I love episode 10 too. And you'll see it's gonna be really good.
All right, I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah.
How hard is it to work with like such an inexperienced cast? At least like for season 1, like there was a newly found.
Season 1 was tough.
Like there was a newly found sympathy in me when I saw like the bloopers. I was like multiple takes. I see like Nina, Maddie Monroe, I think, right?
Yeah.
Like looking into
Maddie.
the camera, multiple takes. It's like, what is the director supposed to do? What is the show supposed to do? If all of the takes are like hard, like have problems.
It's also your job, and like the magic of editing. Like honestly, with editing, you can do like almost anything. So you always find a way. But some were more experienced than others. Like some had some experience, like some notions of what it was to be on set. But it was challenging. Season 2 way better. First of all, there's the ones that were already there on season 1, so like now they know. And the new people, they had more experience with acting. So they were like, like for instance, Benny, the twin, he's acted before, like, like Rave, who plays Eva, the cheerleader. She also had experience with comedy on YouTube and stuff. So like people who they're just more used to it. And so it made things much easier. And for me, at least. And it was great. But yeah, season 1, it was tough. I mean, you have to explain a lot of stuff that's very basic, like, because, you put marks on the floor, stuff like that. So like for someone, it's like even just walking can become difficult because you have to land on your mark, for focus and stuff. And like, they have no idea. So it's challenging, but yeah.
You have to direct and you have to teach at the same time.
It's a lot of teaching. Yeah, that was season 1 was a lot of teaching. Season 2 was just like a lot more fun. And, also when you know each other, I mean, those girls now, I feel like I know them and like, they're so nice and we just had a lot more fun. So.
Do you have a favorite actor to work with or?
In that show?
Yeah.
Yes, I have favorites.
But I'm not gonna say, right? Do you have
I think they know. I mean, I told them sort of. I mean, I love them all equally. I don't know. No, I can't say. I
wasn't thinking honestly, like as in I love you more. I was thinking like you're the most fun to work with because of like this or this. I wasn't. Like an inside story. Like she does this behind the scenes, so that's actually really fun to work with. Something like that.
Yeah, I think people who are super positive. Like, okay, Maddie, for instance, so Nina, she is someone who's very high energy and like always fun to be around. So that's really nice because like, between takes and stuff, she's always going to be like in a good mood and like sort of say silly stuff, and like that makes me laugh a lot. So I like that. But for instance, Benny, so Brandon, who plays Benny, the twin. He's just the best person. And him and Rave, who plays Eva, the cheerleader, like they had a lot of scenes together, and they always called me like queen, and like, and I learned a lot of like young people words or whatever that I had no idea existed, but like they would tell me that, like, what's the word they used? I would body a take. That would mean I nailed it. And they were like, you bodied that. I was like, what? Or they would say I don't even remember, you know, but like that was really cute, and like they were both so easy to work with and so nice. I sort of miss them.
I didn't know they would use bodied like that, actually. I mean, body for me, it was like, you know, when you dunk on someone, you bodied them.
But then someone else can.
Right? That's all I would think about.
Oh, it must come from that.
Yeah, you know.
Oh my God. You just explained. Oh my God, this just made so much sense. I'm so dumb. I was like, what does that mean? Okay.
It doesn't really make sense, though.
Sure
what do you like? You're not hurting the team, making it good, but you're hurting the defender. You know?
Yeah, but clearly that's where it comes. It comes from basketball, and I had no idea because, you know, I'm a foreigner, so I don't know these words.
Do you have like a favorite anecdote from your experience directing the show? Anything?
I have one, but I don't know if I can say it.
Okay, second
I guess
favorite.
I guess I can say it maybe. So like, I don't know. Well, so season 1, okay? I'm gonna say something about season 1. So this was pre-COVID that we shot it, okay? But everyone on set got sick, like one after the other. I think like someone started being sick, and then everyone got sick. And it was, and you know, we were on a hospital set, so we had like hand sanitizer everywhere and like stuff pre-COVID. Before it was like everyone was out and was looking for this stuff. We had so much of it. And like I would just spend the days like talking to people, and then I would sanitize everything, like my headset, my hands, like every time I touched something. So like even before COVID, like we had all the protocols nailed out because everyone was so sick. Everyone, all the actors got sick. Then it was all the producers, everyone, like the grips, everyone. It was just, and I got sick after we wrapped. Like we finished shooting, and then I got so sick. It was hell. But
did you have
that was my anecdote.
That's a pretty good anecdote.
No, it was done.
Not really a favorite though, is it?
Well, it was just
it's the best one though.
Anecdote, I guess, because it was all pre-COVID, you know, and then it was like, and then during COVID when we shot season 2, no one got sick because, you know, we had such like specific protocols that, I mean, it was, you know, we got tested all the time and all that stuff, so it was very safe. But yeah, it was sort of like our little pre-COVID experience on season 1 where everyone just got so sick. Honestly, maybe everyone got COVID. We'll never know.
Yeah, that's why you didn't get COVID, because you had the antibodies next time.
That's very possible, but we won't know.
So I mean, we kind of talked about this before, but I mean, you think it's fair too, but I think it's fair to call like a medical inaccuracy lazy. But also, you could say, hey, I mean, I'm making a teen drama. If I don't notice it, then my target audience is not going to notice it. That's also like extremely fair. So yeah, I mean,
I think honestly, I always like to know everything and like be super prepared. But season 1,
impossible.
We had so much stuff to deal with, like the sets and setting up everything. These actors, that just was. Some stuff just slipped out, but season 2 definitely I was like, that's not gonna happen again, because I do think it's a little bit of laziness on some part, and also like a bit of being overwhelmed by everything else, and sort of assuming that that's not really what matters. What matters is the drama between the characters. And but I do think it's important. I mean, I just like something that looks at least a little bit accurate in the background, you know, so it's not complete bullshit. I think that's good.
It's like if you've never like seen something be done, it's like kind of impossible. It's not intuitive that you do it right though. Like you have to know like every detail of it to make it look perfect. So I mean, I get it if you don't have a consultant, especially. That's like, but even if you do, they're not gonna know everything.
Exactly. Yeah. I think like I don't know how they do it on big sets like Grey's Anatomy and stuff. I mean, I know they have consultants definitely on the writing side, because you know they try and write it like real. It's not just complete like nonsense, I think. But but I don't know. I'm sure they have people on set just because they do real procedures that are a lot more specific and all.
Like they show the surgery and stuff, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't do that, but they did write a scene in season 2 originally where there was a surgery and you were in the OR, and that's the first thing I said, like, we can't do this. So that got cut real fast. I was like, no way. That's just gonna look so bad. I'm not even going there. You know, like there's the OR, it's just doors that sometimes open. You hear beep beep.
Makes
that's
sense.
it, you know? Yeah.
One thing I have to ask about the OR is I'm actually asking because I don't know. Like in because this happened in season 2 as well. In like we see them like get put to sleep, right? In children we use like gas to put them to sleep. That makes sense. In adults we just we intubate them and we just give the anesthetics IV.
Yeah.
These children are pretty old. Like, is that normal for them to get like to do the induction with the gas?
We only do because of what it looks like visually.
It looks better. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's
like the X-rays.
Yeah, like exactly.
Okay.
It's like, you know, there's just stuff that, you know, it's not medically wrong to do it that way. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're doing something that makes no sense.
Like you can't put someone to sleep. That's not the case. You can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't know about that. Like, that's a really interesting point. I was never under anesthesia myself, like, so I have no idea. Like, I don't even know. But I could have asked, because I actually know an anesthesiologist, but I didn't. And I, you know, because no one said anything when I showed it to like my doctor's consultant. Like on my end, they didn't say anything, so I assumed okay, they didn't flag it. But it's really good to know that they do that with children. I had no idea, because they're not children; they're like 16, so they're like teens. But it just looks better visually anyway. Mm-hmm. Plus, it's like, imagine having to do this, like, then you have to have the nurse do it in a way that looks accurate, which would have been a disaster probably, because like, who knows? So
it's also,
that's good to know.
Yeah, they usually do it on the hand too, so it's like even further away from the face. And
yeah,
also,
so how
you can do this scene like where you go like that. That looks cool too.
And that's just the cool thing we did, and that's completely fake, by the way. The way we shot it is, you know, we just put a fake light, like it's just cardboard, like on a wall, like a wall, like here, and then we shot it like this, and we asked the actors to do it like, you know what I mean, like that's the ceiling, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which is super uncomfortable for them, but because we couldn't do anything like on the ceiling because it's like a stage, so there's actually no ceiling. Okay. So yeah, everything's just completely fake. And we had that lamp that the production designer made, and he didn't keep it from season 1, so he had to remake one. It's just like cardboard that he spray painted like silver, and then we blew a light behind it and put it against the wall, and then it was just it was funny.
Now, also, like what you said before, it's like it's also hard to know what you should ask. Some things just seem like that's just a normal thing, but when you look at it, it's like actually kind of off. Like you can't like ask every scene.
You know what's also tricky is that in other shows they do wrong stuff, right? So you're used to seeing stuff. You know what I mean? Because you always see that kind of shit in medical shows. So you're like, oh well, that's how they do it. Like, and like. Yeah, not everyone's been in the hospital, like, thank God, you know, like just and knows that stuff from personal experience. So yeah.
All right. One of the biggest gripes I have with this show is why do people keep sitting on patients' beds? That's weird. Can we please stop doing that?
Is it weird?
It happens so often. I
never thought about it.
Well, it's not like I would sit on like my friend's bed if we were like at home. But why would you sit on a patient that you barely know? Like why would you sit on their bed? It's like not sanitary. It's like personal space, you know?
Okay, that's a really good point. I can tell you why we do it. It's because the rooms that we shoot it, like the stage, it's so small. It's like little boxes. So basically any space, like if you put like people, you know how like in this season, there's lots of scenes that are rounds. So like they're all around the bed with Dr. Henry.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's already like that in episode 1. I think, they go around Eva's bed and they're like so it's her Achilles, whatever. X-ray.
Oh yeah.
And so like this comes back every episode. Like the volunteers get to do rounds with Dr. Henry to see like who'll get the internship, and so that means everyone's around the bed, and like there's so little space to shoot them that you have to put them like as close as possible to the person on the bed. So yeah, but I never thought that actually that makes no sense. It's great. I did not know.
I didn't.
But there's no other way, so that will not change. You know?
Okay. But what you said about like cramming people in, I've experienced that myself. Like we're like students, a 20-person class.
Yeah.
We don't like sit, but we're like, it's a small room. What are we supposed to do? We're like overflowing from the room. We're like trying to hear what the professor's saying, you know?
Yeah. Do you speaking of like, are you gonna do like a specialty, or are you just
I want to, but when I have to like finish first, and then I have to go into an exam, and then depending on how high I get, I want to be an orthopedic surgeon. So like, you know, Achilles ruptures and stuff.
Yeah. It's like what's her name in Grey's Anatomy? Callie. You look her up.
Okay.
She's an orthopedic surgeon.
Yeah, I mean, sports medicine, whatever, like something like that. You know, that's what I want. But we'll see. I guess I do want to.
That's cool. Sports med, because you want to do basketball. Like you want to.
I would love to be the you know, the doctor for the Toronto Raptors. That would be great.
I mean, that's good ambition.
It's kind of high, but maybe. If not, I'll settle for the Clippers too. That's okay too, you know.
Yeah, maybe one day they'll win something.
maybe one day they'll actually advance past the semifinals, you know.
Yeah, it's so sad.
You know, they've never done that, right? It's never. They're like 60 years old, right? More maybe.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I've only oh my god, it's my cat. They've only I've only started following them since I've moved to LA, so it hasn't been like 6 years, obviously. But but I know like I've seen them several times like play at the Staples Center, and I've also seen the Lakers, but I don't really care since they had a LeBron, you know. And that was cool to see LeBron play, but like I like the Clippers.
I love Kawhi, but I just can't like the Clippers. You know, they stole Kawhi from us. Anyway, so in season 1, episode 8, it's just a small scene that I want to ask. I just forgot the most important question of all. That was going to be my first question. Where's Franklin? We're 2 episodes into season 2.
Who's Franklin?
This is Franklin. He's a little temperamental.
Where what?
Franklin, where is he?
Oh, the coffee machine.
That was like the cutest thing of the whole show.
Really? I know it was so dumb. It's still there. You haven't noticed?
In like the first 2 episodes?
They're not in the. Hold on. They're not in the break room in the first 2 episodes. I don't remember. Okay. But whenever they'll be in the break room, Franklin will be there.
Okay.
But they don't call him by name. They're just but they kept the eyes on the machine. Yeah.
I was talking to another YouTuber doctor friend before like season 2 even came out, or like just when it came out, and we were like, if Franklin isn't in season 2, we riot. It's very important for us.
I thought it was the silliest thing, but it's funny.
It's silly, but it's funny, you know.
It's funny you say that. Like I wasn't sure about that. I don't know. Some jokes I thought they were pretty lame, but yeah, some were funny.
You know, some people find like that happens a lot. When sometimes I make a joke, I'm like, that is the stupidest thing, and then when I put it and someone like writes a comment, oh, I was dying at that part. I'm like, really? That part?
Yeah. I guess
it's like, you know, sense of humor changes from person to person.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I was gonna ask you was, Jack comes in with some coffee while they're waiting for Holden's heart surgery to finish.
Yeah.
And then he's like, any news so far? And then the background music says, there's no remedy.
Any news so far?
No, but none is as good.
Was that planned? That was also pretty nice.
No.
That was really good.
No, because that episode actually, there was a bunch of changes after my cut. Like they added a lot of stuff to it. So yeah, that was just them.
That was a nice coincidence though.
Yeah, I guess. It
was, to me at least.
I didn't even notice. I mean, I'm the worst. I don't even like. I watched. You know, I don't think I watched episode 8. I think by then I was like, the comments are too. Stop watching.
Let's just be done with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing, it's not. I don't really care, but it's weird. Is the water pressure in people's eyes is way too high. Like if the camera looks away for a split second and comes back, the tear has already formed and came all the way down here.
Holden? What's going on? Get back.
Holden? No! Whoa! That was fast. That's a bit, you know.
Okay, so I have something to say about that. That was Kit. So I
and
told
Rosie.
them
I'm so sorry. I had no idea. There's a lot you don't know.
Oh, there it goes again. Instant waterworks. It's so weird how they do that.
Oh, Rosie, that's
Yep.
her real tears.
Really?
Yep, we did not add any tears.
No, but like she started like in this part of the room, and then before she could leave, she already had the tears. It wasn't like cut like that.
Which episode are you talking about?
I meant it's too fast. Like the episode where she's.
I know the
and
Kit
he's like-
one.
Yeah, there's the Kit one, and there's also the Rosie one where she's like, "Oh, you don't know anything. I used to be his former patient." And then before she could even leave the room, it's like all the way here. It's like too fast for the tear to fall. You know, it's just another nitpick, but it.
I think maybe this one it's because they're fake tears, so like you just put them on here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not actually falling; they're already there. So then, yeah, that would be weird.
But couldn't you?
But I didn't like those. I asked them to not use that shot of Kit with the fake tear because I thought it looked too fake. For the reason you're saying, it's like she wouldn't have time to cry, and then the thing is there. But then they kept it, and whatever. I mean, it's such a small thing. I didn't care. But the Rosie one, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember that.
Do you remember the scene that I was saying?
Fake tears. Yeah, but I don't remember.
I'm not saying it was
fake tears for that.
I'm not saying it looked fake. I'm just saying like the time in between where she like turned around and started to leave the room, and like there wasn't like a couple seconds there. It was like kind of instant.
Yeah, but like
she didn't have tears then, and she has tears like the pacing is weird.
That's just that's an editing or like
it's editing
mistake. But the thing is, sometimes if the performance is better in that take, even if there's a continuity issue, you're still gonna use it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like better than the continuity problem. But I don't remember that one. I have to.
It's more subtle because her skin color is so light. But I was like,
yeah, you wouldn't see that.
Yeah.
Crazy. Wait, you're really looking for shit, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Not really though. I was watching it. I was like, wait. Did that happen again? Actually, I think that's all I have. Do you have anything to add? Anything we missed you wanted to cover, or?
No, I mean, I just like watch season 2.
I will.
Even
That's
if
for
it's
sure.
just to make fun of it. I think season 2 is great, and I think it gets better and better with each episode. So I'm excited.
Thank you for doing this. Like I said, this was really cool of you to do, and it was really fun. It was I guess I didn't have anything to be nervous about, but yeah, this was really nice. Thank you.
Cool. No, thanks for having me. Show me the video, and then hopefully I won't completely hate it, but I might.
No.